Important distinction, first of all, is between physiological addictions and psychological addictions. Maybe the more interesting and sometimes just as powerful is the psychological addictions. The classic example we have is our phones. When we use social media, maybe we posted something and now we're wondering, has anybody liked it? Has anybody commented on it? The more times we check, the more we kind of think it will be there the next time. We have this term fear of missing out now that you hear a lot of, and there is that sort of notion that, I could be missing out on something that's going on and I have to keep checking. So we feel like we have a lot of friends, we feel like we're interacting with a lot of people, but in fact all we're doing is liking or commenting or doing very little effort. Some of these issues I think really do need the attention that a documentary like this is giving to get people to think and understand that there may be negative things going on that they're not necessarily just seeing.
I'm Steve Jordans, professor of psychology, also director of the Advanced Learning Technologies Lab at University of Toronto Scarborough.
The plan for me is to quit using my phone cold turkey, no phone for 7 days. What kind of things do you think I can expect to go through in terms of emotional, psychological, and social obstacles? And if you have any advice for me before I go into this that I could keep in mind throughout the challenge.
There's a lot of classic, really, if you look up, symptoms of withdrawal, you can take almost all of them and apply them, and they apply quite well. But the classic ones are the ones we talk about, the idea of having it on your mind a lot, looking for substitutes, and literally wanting to peek or wanting to cheat along the way. Those are common signs that this thing has its hooks in you pretty deeply. Which it does in all of us, so don't take it personally. You're just you'd just be doing something for us all.
As you can probably tell, I am about to spend the next week of my life without using my smartphone. Why am I doing this? Well, firstly, I feel like it's one of those things that we've all thought about how we may be using our smartphones too much, and I want to push myself outside of my comfort zone and see what life would be like without it. And two, I've heard that pretty much all of us are addicted to our phones, so I'm gonna put that to the test and see just how addicted I am. The rules for this challenge are pretty simple. I can't use my smartphone or any other mobile device or any form of social media for the next week. But I can still use a computer or a laptop so that I can actually function and do my day-to-day work. And I also have Jay and Adamo here, who are the producers for this documentary, and they will be making sure that I don't cheat. And if there's any gray areas, I'll run it by them beforehand to make sure that we do this entire thing properly. Now, before we get started, I wanna know in the comment section below whether or not you think you could survive for a week without your phone. And now, let's see if I can. So, here's my phone. As you can see, it's got a black screen and it is not turning on because as of 11:45 p.m. last night, I turned this thing off.
So you've officially started the challenge. There's no turning back. How are you feeling?
After my morning routine, my confidence level was like 7, I would say. Before I get into going to meet with my friends, I came to the office and then I started to get nervous because it was like 11:30. I knew I was supposed to meet them at 12:45 for lunch. What if they don't show up? I didn't think this would bother me that much, but I'm feeling pretty weird and anxious about this now that it's actually happening. And this whole drive here, I've just been thinking about it the entire time. But anyways, maybe they'll just be there and I have nothing to worry about, hopefully.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, thank God you guys came.
Bro, I emailed you, bro. I sent you an
emailed me?
email. Bro, the subject is we are inside. That's it. That's all I sent.
I have to print out my vaccine passport.
Oh.
When I'm doing my regular routine or I'm around people that I just normally am or whatever, it definitely feels like you're heading out into the unknown. And these are things as a kid, I would have done this. I remember biking to my friend's house and knocking on the door without knowing if he was home. And then I'd just bike home if he wasn't home. After my last confessional, I spent 2 hours in a Bell chat line because I realized that I'm not allowed to use my smartphone or a mobile device, but a landline phone would give me the flexibility to still make calls, to communicate with people if I need to without the addictive aspects of, a modern smartphone. So today I think I'm gonna go to the Bell store at the mall and see if they can help. Hi, how are you? So I got a weird request for you. So basically I am living without my cell phone for a week, so I need a landline. I have my first, I guess like potential rule break that I have to ask you guys if it's okay for me to do or not. They don't send somebody to install your landline. You have to do it with a technician over the phone. So I could borrow somebody's phone, but that feels kind of like cheating. I can go back to the drawing board. I have a theory that I have other ideas. While we were offloading some of the footage from the previous day, I thought of something. So I went on Skype because I vaguely remember like 8 years ago when I used Skype that they had a service where you could use it to call landlines or mobile phones. And not only did they had a free 1-month trial. Logged in, did all the stuff, and made my first call, and I was able to get a hold of Olivia, which was surprising because when I make the calls, it says no caller ID. I was able to get a bunch of phone numbers from Olivia, since Olivia's number is the only one I remember. And then I tried everybody else in my phone book, and literally no one answered.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
But I figured out I could email them all and say, hey, if a no caller ID number calls you, it's me. Answer, please. So I'm very happy that I figured something out for that.
I feel like a lot of people would have just gave up and said, I guess I'm not talking to anyone.
I'm not a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah, after that, we went grocery shopping. We went back to the house. I did my Tesla space script. I had actually found a really cool kind of like fun thing for me to do. I found this Polaroid camera in my office that I wasn't using. And so I busted this out and I've been taking some photos of stuff throughout the day to kind of like document what I'm doing. I went to see Guy this morning before he left. I didn't cry, I swear. He did. This is Guy lying in bed because he was still sleeping when I got there. His gas guzzling Jeep that I always make fun of him for having because my Tesla does the opposite. And then this is selfie. I feel like it looks kind of romantic, which was not the intention, but hey, you know, love was in the air. I actually really like it. It's been fun and I think the photos are super cool. So I might keep this habit going afterwards.
Given what you've experienced up until this point, are you feeling a change in your perspective when it comes to how you go about using your phone?
I do feel like the phone serves a purpose and it is a useful tool when it's used for those purposes, but we overuse it and that's the problem. Instances like going grocery shopping, I probably don't need my phone. Though at one point I was supposed to get seed crackers and honestly I couldn't find any seed crackers and I didn't really know what that meant. It would have been handy to be able to call Olivia and say, hey, what are seed crackers? But I couldn't do that.
We know this is a tough 7-day challenge, but Jay and I, we decided we wanted to throw a little curveball your way, a little speed bump, just to see how you'd react. What we're gonna do today is reintroduce your phone to you, but you can't touch it.
Why is my heart pumping? Oh, you're turning it on. Oh,
We're gonna turn it back on, we're gonna connect it to a Bluetooth speaker, and have the notifications going off all day, just to see how it affects you.
Oh my god. Fuck. Oh, this does show up on here because it's on.
It's all right. That makes it a little more challenging, no? So did you just cancel it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh man, I don't know how I feel about that. This is the real hard part for you to overcome. If you overcome today, the rest of this week is gonna be nothing.
I've been struggling already. What do you mean? This is just harder.
Just get through today though. This is gonna be the hardest part. This is the hardest to get.
Buy this book. It's a great book. Is that you? That's nice. Are you really want to know who's called?
And then you fail.
A60.
Yeah, no, this way.
Okay, this has to be a joke. Sorry, 1 sec. I'm doing this. Oh my god, so much. Dude, this is way more fucked up than I thought it was gonna be. I'm having rough patches where I am struggling, and I'm really hopeful that this whole like hump day, 3 days in thing is real. Because I'm hoping this starts to get easier. Because if it's like this for the rest of the week, this is going to be very difficult.
So we did say after making it through yesterday's challenge, there will be a reward today. And that reward is 30 minutes of phone usage. It doesn't have to be right now, but when you do decide to use it, starting at that handoff, your 30 minutes is on the clock.
I get to use my phone for 30 minutes today. Give me my phone, give me my precious. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I don't know what I'm going to do for 30 minutes with my phone. I feel like that's not enough time, but too much. I don't know what I'm going to do. Is it going off as I get it? Okay, we got some texts. I feel like I'm not even replying to anyone. This feels kind of weird. It's like so much time has gone by that there's not really any point in me replying to anything. Okay, honest, it's weird. Okay, so there's nothing like crazy, so that's nice. Like I didn't really miss anything. Everyone's surviving fine without me. When I had my phone, I felt very happy, like I was smiling the entire time. And I wasn't even really doing much with it. I would just check my text, called Guy. He's in Lebanon now, so I chatted with him for a couple minutes. Please answer. Oh, sure. How you doing? Checked my fantasy basketball app and I saw that Ben Simmons got traded. So it was fun and exciting and I felt very like happy and in a good mood. That was weird. Like I get it, it makes sense. That's what I would have guessed, but like for it to actually happen feels druggy. In reality, I realized like I didn't need my phone for 30 minutes. I only needed it for maybe 5 minutes to just check through a few things, reply to a couple texts. And that was after 4 days. Check my texts, check my calls, done a few things. Then I started to look at the social media apps. I started scrolling through Instagram and going through stories and it felt so pointless. 5 minutes, you know what? I don't need it. I don't need my 30 minutes. I wonder if once the phone is away and now I can't use it officially, if I'm gonna start, is my 5 minutes up? Oh, we were trying to squeeze in a confessional in the morning, but I had a naturopath appointment. So that was supposed to be at 11:30. Check-in was supposed to be at 10:30. I have my normal routine that I try and do every morning. I had my coffee and I read, but I didn't exercise or anything like that in the morning. And then I rushed into the office so that I could record my initial confessional. And then I rushed to the car and drove 35 minutes away to this naturopath appointment. Knock on the door, no answer. Knock again, no answer. Seems like this is the right entrance. Knock again, no answer. Maybe they just forgot that they had, I don't even know what's going on. And I can't call anyone, I can't text anyone, I can't do anything, so I just leave. Drive all the way back in. And on my drive back, it bothered me that I wasted this hour and 15 minutes of time driving all the way out for this appointment and then nobody was there. I don't know why nobody was there, so maybe I made a mistake. I'm acknowledging that. Normally, this would be something that would bother me a little bit, but like I would get over it. But I couldn't. I don't know if I'd exhausted my willpower or just started the day off on the wrong foot or whatever it was, but I just kept thinking about it and I was like, so obviously that didn't go to plan. It shouldn't be a big deal, but for some reason it feels like a really big deal and I just can't shake it. Like I'm just so annoyed. And I thought back to like, what would I have done as a kid if something bothered me when I didn't have a phone? And I probably would have went and told my mom about it. So that's what I did. And I drove home and my mom was there, my dad was there, and I just talked to them about this whole experience and they were really interested in it and kind of were sharing their insights. And I gave my parents a hug and my mom made me lunch and I felt a lot better. Emotionally, I'm tired. It's just is sucking a lot more out of me than I expected it would. But I'm hopeful that I can have like one really good day towards the end of this. That's what I'm gonna work towards, where I take the things that I've learned for the first 4 or 5 days and I really like put those into one good day, see how that goes. 5 days in, I'm feeling pretty good. This is probably the best I feel during a confessional in like a few days. We haven't done a good confessional in the morning, and every like Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, both those days were kind of messed up and I didn't go through my regular routine, which I think is really important normally and even more important when I'm doing something like this. I think that kind of messed with my flow a little bit. So being able to get back into it today, I think helped. Last night I was able to, you know, do a little bit of physical activity. I streamed, which was fun. So my night was better than my other nights, I would say, because it was like not stressful running around trying to charge my Tesla or, you know, having absolutely nothing to do. It was a good busy evening with some activity and some fun. By doing that, I felt productive, so I felt better at the end of the night than when I like sit around and play video games for 4 hours because I have nothing to do. But I'm learning to cope with everything, and like I know I need to like be active. I need to like, it doesn't even have to be a full-fledged workout, but I just have to do something physical every once in a while. Gets my body feeling much better, and then my mind as a result of that. I've also noticed I've been listening to a hell of a lot more music, so I feel like that's kind of a nice like thing to offset not having my phone. So I'm developing my toolkit to navigate life without my phone, so I'm feeling a lot more confident heading into the final couple days. You know what? Yes. Okay. Let's talk about Saturday. Yeah, I spent like 2 or 3 hours just shooting hoops here, practicing some little soccer dribbles, and working on my juggling. Like I said, I noticed that physical activity really helps. A while ago, I did a video where I learned how to juggle, and I forgot about that. And then I thought, okay, well, what could I do that would feel rewarding? And so I tried juggling with bigger balls. I'd never done it before, and it took a little bit of practice, but I was able to do it, and that felt good. Working on a skill can be frustrating, but when you get it, it feels really good and really rewarding. That kept me going in the right direction for the day. Me and Jay filmed a couple like little things, and then I went to meet up with Olivia, and we went to her sister's house to watch the UFC fight. And on the way over, my loaner Tesla was getting pretty low on battery, so we had to stop at the charging station, charge for like 20 minutes. At that point, I was really feeling more comfortable with just kind of sitting in silence if other stuff is going on, or if other people are using their phone, or if we're watching a show or whatever. We were both really tired, and Olivia fell asleep on the drive back. And I think, you know, even 2 or 3 days earlier, I might have been stressed out about this. But somehow during this process, I was able to kind of like, instead of being frustrated that I was driving home at 2:30 in the morning and I was cold and it was a late night and I was tired, I was able to enjoy a like nice, peaceful late night drive with nobody on the roads, focus on the positive side instead of the negative. And I don't know if that's because of what I experienced for the previous 4 days, but either way, it was my experience that day, and it was nice. I don't know if this is gonna fit, because I do feel like this is getting a little preachy, so I don't know. I don't really want to do that. I don't know exactly how to do this, but I do just want to say it for the sake of saying it. The reason why I started trying to do a routine is because I realized that in my life there was an imbalance between the different types of things that are important to like leading a happy and healthy life. And for a long time, I spent most of my life focused on success and financial wealth. And I sacrificed mental health and physical health in order to get that, because I thought that was the most important thing to me. And for a while it was. But then I realized that it's not sustainable, and it doesn't actually make you a complete, happy and healthy human being. There are other aspects that are just as important, if not more important. It's really hard to prioritize those. I find in society today, it's like there's so much pressure to be financially successful, or there's just a lot of pressure for that. I think we're starting to see more of an awareness around being both, you know, having financial health, but also having mental health and physical health. They need to be prioritized on a similar level. Like, you need to be putting as much effort and time into managing your physical health and your mental health as you do your financial health and your success, because otherwise you're just going to burn out. And that's something we've heard like a lot in the last few years, especially with content creators. It's like burning out. And I think it's because we are so solely focused on making content or our business or whatever it is that we lose track of these other extremely important aspects of being a human being.
Yeah, I don't think that's preachy at all, to be honest. I think a lot of content creators need to hear that, especially young ones. So I totally agree, man. I think that was great. Monday, man. Monday, you did it. How does it feel? How does it feel to just kind of be back to normal and not have that weighing down on you?
It's a mixed feeling. It feels nice to not have to worry about that. Know that, you know, I can communicate with whoever I want, whenever I want. I don't have to plan around not having my phone. But I'd gotten kind of used to it. Now that old worry is replaced with the worry of falling back into the bad habits that I identified by doing this in the first place. So it's been about 3 months since I completed this challenge. It took a really long time to edit, so hopefully you like it. Also, as you might be able to tell, I'm not in Canada anymore, but video on that coming soon. And now I feel like it's probably time I tell you about my takeaways from this entire experience. First and foremost, I'm way more addicted to my phone than I thought I was. And secondly, I was really shocked at how often I use my phone throughout the day to essentially make myself feel better. I don't know if that's a weird way to say it, but that's pretty much what I do. If something goes wrong or something bothers me or annoys me, I grab my phone all the time to disrupt that feeling. And while sometimes that might be good, I feel like constantly ignoring your feelings about things that bother you is probably not the best way to deal with them over the long term. But like I mentioned earlier, it's been a few months since I finished this challenge, and I wish I could tell you guys that my phone usage has been so much better over those few months. But to be honest, it's been up and down. Now, that's not to say that it was a complete waste at all. I 100% feel like my relationship with my phone is maybe not better, but I'm more mindful when using my phone. But actually, one last thing. I do want to keep this conversation going, so please let me know in the comment section if you guys think you would be able to spend 7 days without your phone. But the beach is calling my name right now, so I think it's time I put the camera away, I put my phone away, and I enjoy it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Toodles.